After equations, we deal with inequalities. Nothing different here except for we should graph the solutions, but you notice the directions don't say to graph. I'm going to graph them anyway, just so you see them. But definitely pay attention to the directions on the assignment and the test. If it doesn't say solve and graph, you only have to solve. So this first guy is 0.5x is greater than or equal to 0.5. 0.5x is multiplication. I will divide both sides by 0.5. Pardon me, I think I'm going to sneeze. Maybe. Maybe not. There it is. There it is. Okay. Now that I mean the x, I'm dividing by a positive number, so the greater than or equal to can stay that way. We could go through the hassle of writing 0.5 divided by 0.5 out and doing it, or we could look at it and say, hey, it's something divided by itself. Anything divided by itself is 1. Greater than or equal to 1, remember, we put 0 and 1 on the number line. Circle above the 0, or 1, sorry, not the 0. Fill it in because it's greater than or equal to, arrow to the left. For our next guy, we have t minus 7.5, so we will add 7.5, lining up the 7 with the 0 in the 30, because that's the 1's place. If it helps, feel free to add the 0.0. That gets me t is greater than 0 and 5 is 5, 0 and 7 is 7, 3 just drops, 37.5. So we put 0 and 37.5 on the number line, circle above 37.5. Do not fill it in because this does not have the or equal to, arrow to the right. Next we have plus a half, so we are going to subtract a half. Pardon me, that sneeze is making my nose runny now. So that's going to be x is less than. So 1 is 1 over 1, is also 2 over 2. I don't even think we need to go through all that, though. 1, take away a half, I think we should all realize is a half. We're subtracting here, so the sign doesn't flip. We have x is less than a half. If I were to graph that, I would put 0, 1/2 on the number line, circle above the 1/2, leave it empty, arrow to the left. Last up, we have negative 3 1/3 y is greater than or equal to 10. That's multiplication. We're going to solve actually by multiplication. You'll see why in a second. First thing we need to do is change 3 1/3 to negative 10 thirds. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10. And while I'm writing this, I'm going to put 10 over 1 for my own sanity because I know what's coming. Normally we would divide everything here since this is a multiplication problem, but it's a fraction. We can't divide by a fraction, so instead we're just going to go ahead and multiply by the reciprocal, which is negative 3/10. Typically we leave the negative sign in the numerator. It doesn't stick to the 10, it sticks to the top. On the right side, sorry, left side, get my directions straight. On the left side, the 10s and the 3s, and the negative signs for that matter, cancel. I am multiplying both sides by a negative number, so the inequality sign will flip. On the right side, the 10s cancel, leaving me with negative 3 over 1, which is, of course, just negative 3. If you were to graph this, negative 3 would have to go on the left side of 0. We'd fill in our circle, and arrow would be to the left.